Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Before starting my video, if you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please do, and do not forget to turn on notifications because I'm here every day for you. Previous lesson we finalized the explanation about filters. Now in this lesson we will talk about and we will build some examples for our filters. Alright, I'm going to start with authorization filter. Okay, I'm going to delete. Let's keep it for a while. What kind of logic we can do? Let's have a look our context. We have action descriptor. We have result. Let's have a look quickly. Okay, let's have a look at action descriptor. We have properties, parameters, constraint, display name. Is there anything related with authentication? Result? Not result actually. Request. We need to go HTTP context. Yep, we have response, request, features, items, session, user. Yep, user is, for example, we can find our user is authenticate, I guess. Let me have a look, or we can check claims. We can check identity. Let's say identity is authenticated. Perfect. All right. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to add if user is authenticated, do something. If it's not, we can throw new unauthorized access exception. Is there any just exception? No. Okay. Let's give a message. Let's say, for example, you do not have permit to access here, just for example. All right. In these circumstances, we won't authenticate because we didn't add authentication and authorization in our project. So we're going to get this exception. All right. Let's run the application and see what's gonna happen. I'm just doing basic authorization logic here. Okay, let's put this right up, left side, and down side. Okay, let's go our filter test. Here we go. We are in authorization. Let's F10, F10. I'm coming from authorization filter. We're going to do our logic. Here we go. We are not authorized. We couldn't pass the authorization, so we're going to get exception here. Here we go. Perfect. It's totally short circuit our application, and it's stop what it's doing right now. All right. Let's close the application and continue. You can also add different logics here. I'm not gonna give too many example. I want you to make research and use your own, how can I say, fingers and, how can I say, imagination. It's better to learn something if you do something on your own. Okay. One more time. I'm going to have a look context, HTTP context, user, for example, not in user, is that in user? HTTP context get, no, is in role, no, let's go user. is in role. For example, we can check the authenticate user is a specific role or not. We can use this feature. Let's bring them all back. If user authenticated, yeah, we can check user role here. So we can say if user in role, string role, yep, equal, for example, admin. Hmm. There is a problem here. Let me have a look. It is returning. Is in role string role. This is string. So what is the problem here? What is telling us? If the person was a specific role, otherwise false. Responsibility that's individual entity user represented by these claims. Method group. So is that problem? These are group. No. All right. Let's say var role is in role. All right. Perfect. Now I understand. It is returning. I have to use like this. Okay, I understand now. Admin. Perfect. So you can take this section. Yep. Just delete all of them. This is a method, by the way, not property. This is why I get a error a couple of minutes ago. So it is telling us if this user authenticated and if this user enroll admin, then you can do something here for this user. Okay, do something here. All right, perfect. If it's not, you can send an exception. All right, I assume you understand authorization filter. I'm not gonna waste your time too many in the same object. Let's continue with the resource filter. All right, so we can create a caching system here. To do that, I'm going to, this is not our subject, but for this filter, I'm going to show you how can we do caching here. So to do that, I'm going to use dependency injection, which you know now. Private read only. I'm going to add iMemory cache. All right, using dependency injection. To use iMemory cache, I'm going my program CS file and I add my memory cache. Now I register and I add memory cache to my container. I'm done with here. Okay, now I'm ready to use, where's my resource? I'm ready to use my cache memory. Okay. All right, now I'm going to create some dummy data to represent a database. Let's go our models, add new class. Let's say books. Books is okay. I'm gonna make it a static class. All right, I'm going to add property. Let's say static list string book list. Actually, I'm going to delete this too. It is going to be field as I'm going to create a constructor. Where is my constructor? It is going to be static constructor, but it's not working. I don't know. It's really interesting. Okay, let's do it manually. Class books, right? Okay, let's say Is there any problem? Can be same as your enclosing type. Okay, let's say um, static books. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to create a new list for book list. Okay, let's edit. The first of all, let's say um, book 1, book 2. All right. This is just example demo data, so I'm just creating random data. Okay, this is a random data comes from our database. Okay, let's save it. Close books. Let's save it. All right. Okay, let's get back our resource filter now. First of all, our on resource executing method will be initialized. I expect my filter try to get a value from my memory cache. So I'm going to use the if block and I'm going to say, let's go your memory cache and try to get a value which is marked by, let's say, books. All right, books. If it's not exist, if it's exists, don't assign anything. Okay, what I'm trying. Oh my god, I hit every single letter on my keyboard. Okay, alright, let's close our if block. And I'm going to get reverse result. So it is telling us our memory cache, trying to get the value from our memory cache, which is marked by books. Okay, if it's not, because I'm using this sign, if it's not, let's go database and save it to your memory cache. Okay, var book list. Okay, books dot book list. Okay, it is representing our database. Let's say represents database. Okay, so I have a book list comes from my database. Now I'm going to save it to my memory cache. Memory cache dot set. Let's save list string. The key is books. What is the problem here? Yeah, we need to add the value book list. Alright, so we add our book list to our memory cache. By the way, there is a simplify method here. You can delete it anyway because we gave our list here. Okay, you can delete it anyway. Alright, let's save it. First of all, our resource filter will go our memory cache. Check the data which is marked with book. If it's not, we're going to get the data our database and set it to our memory cache. Alright, after this initialized, we will go our action filter, sorry, action method. Where is my action method? Okay. I'm going to add my memory cache because now I'm sure 100% I have added my data to memory cache thanks to resource filter. Okay, read only I memory cache. I'm going to edit my constructor. All done. Let's make it. I'm gonna make it command line. Perfect. Now I'm going to bring it directly from my cache. Let's say book list from cache, memory cache, get books. Okay, let's have a look our result. This is object, we need to convert it this time. Yeah, list string. All right, book list from cache, it is arrived. Let's copy and send it to Vue. Perfect. Now we add our list to our result. Perfect. Now we brought our list and we sent this list our CSHTML file. Now I'm going to manipulate my data. Let's add a new book name. Let's add book 4 and let's add book 5. Perfect. Now we need to add new list to our memory cache. But to do that, we're going to go back our resource filter. Now executed section. Let's bring our result var view result context dot result as view result. Our action result, yeah, this is a view result. As you can see, we are using action result, but our return is a view result, so we can catch these results on our resource filter and we can convert it as a view result. Then var new user list view result dot model as list string. We are converting our view result model to the list string. Perfect. All we need to do, add our memory cache using set method. Our key is books and oh, this is not user list, sorry, this is new book list. Alright, let's take this new book list to our memory cache method. Perfect. Hopefully our method will work now. Let's run application and try to see if it's everything work or not. Run the application. Let's go filter test index. As you can see, first of all, we trigger the authorization filter. Let's continue. Just consider we already did our authorization. Then we receive resource filter add section. Now we are on executing area. Let's continue. Okay, let's continue. It is looking, is there any data marked with books key in our memory? If it's not, we're going to get our book list from our database. In these circumstances, I'm using a dummy data. Let's continue. Then we're going to set our list to our memory with a books key. Let's continue. Perfect. Now we take our data from our database and register it to our memory. Let's continue. Now it is time to go with action filters. Let's continue. And all right, we are taking back our list from our memory. Now instead of going database, we are taking our list from our memory, which is very fast. If you use any benchmark, you will see, okay, this is our list, 3 different data. Let's have a look. Book 1, book 2, and book 3. Now we're going to add 2 different books. We are doing data manipulation. All right. And we sent our new book list to our view. This is 5 different book. Let's continue. This is action filter executed section. Then we are in result filter executing. We are in our view. We are in result filter executed. Now we are in resource filter. Perfect. Now we're going to take our view result using context result, and we are converting it as a view result anyway. Yeah. Then let's continue. We are reach our new book list using view result model, and we convert it as a list string. Let's have a look at our view result. As you can see, it comes as a model here. Perfect. Now all we need to do is set as a memory cache. Alright. This is a request response cycle, and it is completed. Let's send our request one more time and see how the cache mechanism is working. Okay, authorization is already done. Now we are executing section of resource filter. Let's continue. It is looking at memory if it exists or not. Yep, as you can see, it is already exists and past this section. And we directly go our action filter and then action. We're going to get our book list here. Here we go. It is 5 different books. Perfect. I assume you understand how our resource filter is working. You can use logging as well in your resource filter. You can add if you for example, if you're doing any memory cache, you can add an information log. For example, memory cache has been initialized, or your data is added to your memory cache, something like that. Okay, all right guys, all right, let's continue with the action filters. I create a scenario, and I'm going to create another action result to initialize my scenario on my hat. I action result, and it is going to be index page again, or we can say another page. Let's say random. It doesn't matter what kind of page it is. I'm going to give a parameter integer count. It doesn't matter what it is. Return view. Okay. Now I'm going to create one more action result. Let's say test. All right. By the way, before lesson, I create a model which is called product for test purposes. I give ID and string, two properties. Okay, you can pause the video and create those two properties in that product class. I'm going to give my product class as request here. All right. So I have 3 different action, and I'm going to add my action filters to the class level, which is going to be available for all actions. All right. Now I'm going to send request to each action, and I will see how it's going to work. But before that, let's create our logic. Let's go action filter. I'm going to work on executing. Before, I would like to make a validation just before the action initialized. We are catching their parameters, action arguments, values to first or default. Okay, let's catch this first. We're going to catch the, how can I say, the parameters held by action. Okay, we're going to send a request right from our browser, and our action method going to catch that, so we are know that, but we are interrupting those requests and catch the data comes from user, and we going to check is it valid or not. This is the basic logic what I'm going to do right now. Var value comes from as an object. All right. Let's first of all let's try to catch the value. What kind of value we're going to have? All right. Let's leave it like that for a second. I'm going to deactivate authorize and resource filter breakpoints. It's enough for them. Let's run the application. Just send a couple of data to our objects. First of all, filter test index, and I'm going to send my random action method question mark. The variable name is count. I'm gonna send 15. Right? Let's send it. Action filter at. Okay, F10, F10, F10. Let's have a look at our value. As you can see, I catch the value just I sent using query string. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, stop it. Let's run one more time. Now I'm going to send another value. But what if someone who is able to type query string, and instead of integer, what if they type here question mark count equal just random text? What's gonna happen then? Let's F10, F10, F10. Let's have a look. The value is null. So this is invalid request, right? We have to catch that not to get an exception. Okay, let's stop it. Now I'm going to use if value equal null. Let's throw an exception. ID is not valid. By the way, I would like to show you something. What if I send nothing? Because I have another action result here, action method here with no parameter. So the value is going to be null or empty. Yeah, we have to check that as well. Okay, let's run the application one more time. Okay, let's filter text index. Let's have a look at our data. The value is again null. So we have to careful while creating our logic. Okay, all right. So we have two type of null. If you type an invalid data, or if you send nothing. Now I'm going to get parameters count. Alright, to do that, let's go context, action descriptor, parameters. Alright. Oops, it's not method, it's property. Perfect. And if value is null and parameter count equals 0. Is that returning list? Parameter dot count 0. Let me have a look. Perfect. Let's try one more time. Now I would like to see, because if I send my index, there is no parameter over there. Parameter must be 0. Actually, it shouldn't be 0. Alright, I'm going to change it. Let's stop it. Parameter count shouldn't be 0. Okay, if it's 0, it is the action method which has no parameter. Okay, let's send first of all filter test, random question mark, request equal random text. Alright, F10, F10. Value is null. Let's have a look. Our parameter count is 1. Let's have a look our parameter. The parameter name is count. Yep, perfect. Let's, by the way, I said request, right? It's okay. We're going to get an exception. Okay, let's stop it. Run the application. I guess I type parameter name wrong. I'm going to try one more time. Filter test. Random question mark count equal random text. It must be null again. Yeah, null. Perfect. It is working. What if I send, instead of invalid data, what if I send my index page with no parameter, filter index? It is going to be null value again, but the parameter count is 0. So if it's not 0, we pass our validation check. Alright, it is working. If it's not null, and if the parameter count is bigger than 0, it means we have a valid parameter in our hands. Let's check if it's a class or if it's a integer or something else. First of all, I'm going to make integer check, id check. Let's say integer par. Actually, try parse is better, I guess. Try parse. It is asking me to give in a string. This is value, right? Let's give value dot to string and out. Alright. I'm not gonna assign a out value. Perfect. Return if the return is false. We have a problem here. If id check false. Now we're going to read exception, send an exception. id is not valid again. So what does that mean? If I send a valid id, but if it's not integer, we're going to get an id is not valid. Is that a correct logic? I'm thinking. Try pass value. We change it to string. Value converted to string. But what if it's a entity? It is going to get a false here. So we're going to get an exception. So it is a final check here. What if actually I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna send an exception because if it's id, if it's integer, just return. It means everything is correct. Validation is passed. You can continue your action filter. If it's not correct, if it's not integer, it might be an entity, right? So var is entity, or I'm gonna say is product. Okay. Value is product. Yep. Now I'm gonna check if it's product or not. If it's product, return. Everything is perfect. But if it's not, I'm gonna send an exception here. parameter error. All right. Let's run the application now. Let's try our action filter. Okay, now I'm going to send an entity which is product. Okay, now it's test, it's not test, filter test, and the name of action is test, question mark, ID is 7, and name is brick. Let's send it. Here we go. F10, F10, F10. That's a value. ID 7, name brick. We catch that. Let's continue. Value is not null, and the count is more than 0. Let's continue. We're going to check if it's integer or not. It is not integer. Let's continue. We're going to check is it product or not. It is product, and we will continue. Perfect. We are in our test action method. All right. Let's continue. It is normal because we didn't create our test.cs HTML file. Perfect. Now I'm going to send an irrelevant variables. Let's say ASD KLM. All right, let's send it. Or should I add one more? Let's change the data as well. FFF instead of integer, and instead of string I'm gonna send just numbers. Let's add one more data. HAS equal, just give random numbers. Let's send it now. Okay, F10, F10, F10. This is the value what we sent. As you can see, nothing here. We couldn't catch it because we sent an irrelevant data. Value is not null and count is more than 1. This is not integer. Is it product? It is again product because we sent irrelevant data, but we still have here product. Then this logic, it's not working here. So it's product, value is product, is not working. We have to find out something different to check this is exactly what we're looking for. To do that, we can check value name nullable or not. Okay, stop it. I'm gonna check now. Is product value as product? Okay, now this is a product. Let's change it to product. Product name equal null. If it's not null, we can continue, but if it's null, we have a problem. Also, we can check product ID. We can check product ID here. Yeah, let's have a look. We can use this one, copy and paste. You can multiple these examples, guys. I'm gonna finalize this one, and I'm not gonna make it longer. Product not you. Product ID. No, let's say ID check again. ID check for product. ID check for product. Not value. It's going to be product.id, and if it's true, perfect. No, I'm not gonna use it because I'm gonna check another one. If it's false, If it's false, this time I'm going to get an exception. ID, product ID is not valid. But if it's correct format, we can continue with the product name. Let me have a look. It's null. Yeah, if it's product name, if it's not null, we can continue. If it's null, exception. Let's run one more time. Now I will try to send an irrelevant data to get exception. Test question mark ID equal random and product name equal numbers and KLM, for example, equal, let's say, random. Actually, I'm gonna change the parameter name as well. Random parameter name instead of ID. Yeah, random parameter name. Let's send it. I just sent random irrelevant data as a parameter. Value is ID 0, name null. Let's continue. Product is null. We got an error message here. Alright. I assume you understand what I'm trying to do. You can use this logic or not. Um, it's just an example to show you how its action filter is working. You can also add another logic here, but I'm not prefer adding here yet, just for this example. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's remove these breakpoints. Let's go our filter test controller. Next one is result filter. We did authorize, resource, and result. Actually, we can do exception, but it is easy. We used, where is our controller? We used our exception. If you have any exception in your action, you're going to your exception filter initialized. It is easy. All right. So I'm not gonna do another example for it. Result filter. It is working just before your rendering your view result and just after, so you can manipulate it after return view initialized. Okay, let's try to manipulate it anyway. Okay, so we going to use book list from cache again. Let's go our result filter executing. Okay, I'm going to get my data same way in resource filter. I'm going to copy this section. Okay, let's go back. This is result filter. Yeah, so I'm going to get my view result again. New book list. Okay, I'm going to add another data. Okay, book list. Let's say book 9. It's okay. Leave it like that. Let's add book 25. All right. So we add two different book. Okay. Let's leave it here and executing. Let's go our view. Where is my index? Home index. View home index. No, not you. Not home. Filter test index. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So I would like to add my model here. What was my model? List string This is going to be a list string, right? Okay, let's model. Now I'm going to remove. Where is a remove? Add. We have add. Yeah, remove here. Okay. List string remove string item. Let's say book 25. I'm gonna remove 25, or let's say book 1. All right. And let's come back our result filter. Let's take all of them here again. Latest. I'm gonna give latest book list. Okay, let's run the application and see is it going to work or not. This is the first time I'm trying, by the way. Hopefully it is going to work. Let's run the application. I'm gonna send my request to the directly index. Filter test index. Alright, we have to stop running our action filter anymore. Where is my action filter? Actually, where is my test filter controller? Okay, let's deactivate it. Run the application. Filter test index. Okay, perfect. Let's have a look. This is our new book list. There is three different book 1, book 2, and book 3. Let me check my controller. Yep, it is coming from my cache memory. Result filter, perfect. Now we adding 2 different book. Now it has 5 different book. Let's continue. We couldn't catch the index. Where is my index? We removed our breakpoint. Stop it. I'm going to put my breakpoint because I need to see what's gonna happen here. Let's continue. Let's try one more time. This lesson became really long, but I don't want to interrupt it. Let's continue. Okay, new book list 3 item has 3 item. Book 1, 2, 3. We add 2 different books. 9 and 25 has been added. Okay, have been added. Yep, let's continue. Here we go. We are in our view. Let's have a look. Actually, we add a breakpoint, but we couldn't see is it added or not. Now we're going to see in our view results. As you can see, we have 4 book. Book 1 is deleted. How it's deleted? We have a model remove book 1. This is how it is working, guys. If you're using result filter, you can manipulate your data just before your rendering view and just after your rendered view. This is how it's working. Okay, I'm going to stop the application here. I guess we finalized every type filter. I assume you understand everything, but you can do every detail, every action, every process for in all of them, but always be careful. If you doing about something action, use action filter. If it's about authorization, use authorization filters. If it's about something little bit more general things, if we compare with the action filter, use resource filter. And the result filter is also for manipulating your rendered view data. Alright guys, I reckon you understand everything what I'm trying to tell you. I'm going to finish this lesson here. If you have any question, have any problem, drop comment below the video and please crush the like button. I will be really appreciated as it really motivates me to create new contents. Take care of yourself. See you on next lesson. Bye bye.